Hey everyone. Just wanted to come on and say a few words about what this program is going to leave you with. So, I'm developing a program to support people with chronic pain, and it's going to include a number of modalities. But before I go into talking about the specifics of that, I just want to ask you the question: what would it be like to not have pain? What would it be like to be completely free from chronic pain? And I just want to invite you to really let that soak in, because when we've been in pain for a really long time, we can really start to lose sight of what it would be like to live without pain. We can get really identified with our pain, especially when we have lived with chronic pain for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you know? Um, so, I'm going to talk a lot about the pain science education. There's a lot about the brain and the nervous system and how all of that works. But one of the important pieces with chronic pain is that we can really direct our attention toward what we want. And like they say in Tai Chi, where the mind goes, the Chi flows. And neuroscience research is actually starting to prove that that's actually really true. And that's not to say that you should just dismiss your pain and all of the correlated emotions that are just so wrapped up in pain, because the experience of pain is so real. It is so real. Even if it's not true to who you are, if you're in pain, it is a real experience. There's no denying that you're in pain when you're in pain, period. Um, so we can really get lost in the dark with pain, though. We can really just get hung up on how much it hurts. We can allow the emotions of frustration and fear, preoccupation, trying to avoid the way that we feel, avoid social connections, avoid activities. We can really try to hyper manage our pain. So, we get really preoccupied with our pain. And what we're actually doing is we're just focusing on our pain more, and we're just cementing that chronic pain is who we are even more. We're cementing it down into our lives. And so a big piece of the treatment of this is to really just imagine, what would your life be like if you weren't in pain? Could you just imagine how you would feel? What you would spend your time doing? Like, what would your life be like if you were just free? Just really sit with that. Maybe even use that as like a journaling prompt. Now, if you're in pain, you're probably going to take this prompt and say to yourself, like, that's so beyond my current reality. Like, I can't even fathom what that would be like. Living without chronic pain, being without pain, like, what? Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, at this point, I have no concept of like what ease in my body would actually feel like. So if that's you, then I really just encourage you to, instead of trying to imagine what it would be like to just feel completely good in your body, I just invite you to consider, what if instead you could learn how to inhabit your body with curiosity, trust your intuition, and know how to listen to the inherent wisdom of your body, even when it's hurting. So, one of the key pieces to healing chronic pain is learning how to change our relationship with the pain. I'm going to say that again. One of the keys to healing is learning how to change our relationship to pain. And so if your relationship to pain is that of fear and that of anger, that is actually what is perpetuating your pain. I'll get into more of that. But ultimately, what we're learning here is that our brain is sending pain signals as an attempt to keep us safe. I'll talk more about that too. But when you're trying to heal your pain, when you're trying to just work through your pain, the hardest part can be that the goal is not to simply try to get rid of the symptoms, but to instead listen to them and ask, what is your body trying to let you know, in sort of a meta way, in like a macrocosmic way, not in like a, my body's telling me that I shouldn't sit because every time I sit it hurts, or that I shouldn't walk because every time I walk it hurts, or that I shouldn't do this activity because every time I do this activity it hurts. That's true with acute pain. But when it comes to chronic pain, it gets a little more complex than that. So ultimately what I'm saying here is that there is a mind-body connection with chronic pain, and there's a reason that your pain is here. There is a reason for it. And it's because ultimately your brain is trying to keep you safe. Pain is a danger signal. Pain is felt in the body, but it moves from the sensory part of our body through our nervous system up to our brain. Our brain perceives what's going on through that stimulus that it's getting. It perceives what's happening, perceives if it's dangerous or safe. And then depending on that choice, if this stimulus is dangerous or safe, then it sends out a pain signal or not. So consider that. And yeah, like there's a mind-body reason that your pain is here. And the tools that you're going to gain from this program are going to help you to establish a sense of trust in your body and your experience of pain, instead of seeing it as a threat. So this shift is essential for reducing pain, right? So there's research going on with like intractable symptoms, and intractable symptoms means that they're hard to experience and you can't make them go away, and it's just difficult. And so ultimately when this happens, there's usually something that we're here to learn in a really, really big way. And what they're finding with chronic pain is that there are a lot of underlying, oftentimes a lot of underlying trauma, a lot of underlying childhood trauma. Your nervous system is in a constant state of high alert. I'll talk more about that. But really just sit with this question of, A, what would it be like to not be in pain? And just like let your mind go there, fantasize about it. What could you do? Could you run 10 miles? Could you hike a mountain? Could you work for, could you go to work and not be in pain? Could you hang out with your friends and just like enjoy yourself and not be preoccupied or worried about what you're going to have to do to prevent the pain, or how the pain is going to, when is it going to come on? When it comes on, how am I going to manage it? What am I going to do to find some relief? All of these questions that we just start cycling through is just instilling more fear. And so you can just ask yourself, what would it be like to be free? And then second of all, what if instead you could learn how to inhabit your body with curiosity? So really feeling your pain from a place of neutral curiosity. It's like mindfulness. They say to watch your thoughts go by like clouds in the sky. Do the same thing with your pain symptoms. Get to a point where you feel grounded and just track your symptoms. So how do you listen to the inherent wisdom of your body even when it's hurting? Again, one of the keys to healing is learning how to change our relationship to pain, and to understand that ultimately the brain is sending pain signals in an attempt to keep us safe. Your experience of pain is your brain and your body having your best intention, your best interest in mind, believe it or not. And when trying to heal your pain, the hardest part can be that the goal is to not just to get rid of the pain, but to instead get to know it more, get curious about it. What is it here to tell you? So I think I'm going to leave it there, just remembering that establishing a sense of trust and safety with the sensations that you feel in your body, and becoming curious about them, instead of seeing them as a threat, this shift is essential for reducing pain. I'm going to talk more about this. I hope this is helpful. Please comment below, send me a message, let me know what your experience is. I would really love to hear from you all. And if you're in pain today, just take a few breaths, be really easy on yourself. Just try to relax. Try to get into a calm, relaxed state, because when we are relaxed, that's usually when our pain can kind of start to wind down a little bit. So, okay, hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll put out another video very soon. Bye.